Hi, I'm Natasha Marchewka,
And I'm Kim Wilson, and
and
this
this
is
is
Speechless.
Speechless.
Speechless. Speechless.
Welcome to our behind the scenes take on real life VO, where we share stories, resources, and our unsolicited opinions.
The title of our session today, our
Yeah.
talk today is, do you and your VO coach vibe? Do you vibe?
Mm.
We're talking about finding the right coach for your level.
Love it.
Because there's so many coaches and there's so many levels of talent. And the truth is that as voiceover actors, we're building our own educational certifications, right?
Yep.
There are VO schools, but there's no degree in voiceover. So we build our own education. And it's not always easy to find the right coach for you.
Hello. No, especially if you're a newbie and you don't even know where to go.
But you also need a coach even when you're not a newbie.
Oh, totally. I'm coaching. Who are you coaching with right now?
Right now, I am coaching with two different people. I'm doing privates with Tom Pinto, and I'm doing group
Mm, yes.
classes with Carrie Tombazian.
Nice.
Yeah. Who are you
Nice.
coaching with?
I am and have been coaching with Nancy Wolfson. She does it for me. I love it. She's curriculum based. So you go through her curriculum, and then when you finish it, if you want to continue on, you can continue on. And there's it's a never ending process. I think coaching. I think you really have to keep up with the trends that are happening in the moment, and I think
True
ongoing
that.
coaching is important.
Truth.
But I'm also coaching with a couple other coaches as well. So, I mean, I just kind of keep my toes dipped in all the time.
Yes, we have to. You have to.
I mean, I think so too, but people just are like, "Oh, I don't want to coach with that person. They're too expensive." And I think they're gypping themselves so much.
Well, what are we going to share with our viewers today and listeners? I think we need to help them choose a coach kind of thing. Does it sound good? And tell them the reason why it's why you have to find the right one. But I do have a really funny story. A really funny story. And I have to leave the names out.
Okay.
For obvious reasons. So a lot of times when you coach now, you can coach on Skype, on Zoom, whatever. You don't have to go in person. So that's really great for students, really great for coaches, because you can access coaches, New York coaches and LA coaches, no matter where you are. And even if you're in the same city, it's just easier, right? So much easier. But someone was telling me about how she was, I'll tell you, it's a she. She was being coached by someone, and a very encouraging coach. I don't know how to tell this. Okay, a very encouraging coach. So every time she'd do really well, she chose. He would choose the scripts, and she would do it, and it was perfectly suited to her. He'd say, "That was great. That's right in your whorehouse. Right in your whorehouse." And the way she expressed this story was like he didn't catch himself.
The whole time, the whole lesson, he was saying whorehouse.
He didn't catch himself not saying wheelhouse. He kept saying, "Right in your whorehouse, right in your whorehouse." Oh my gosh! And I happen to know that coach, and it's just funny. It's just funny,
That's
slip of the
funny.
tongue. Yeah. Okay, so what I know is that as a beginner, Kim's not a beginner. You might not.
I was kind of saying, like, what was that segue there? Hello?
You might not. Here's why, as a beginner, you need to vibe with your coach, and it has to work for you.
And this is important. This is important.
Right. You know what I'm going to say?
Yes, I know. Go.
You might not actually hear the pro level direction you've paid for because you aren't ready to hear it. So you need to have some basics already in your toolbox before you can access the skills to deliver what a higher level coach can give you.
Can you just give an example so that people understand what you're saying? Because that's hard to.
Well, one of the things about being a voice actor is you need to be able to take direction. And when you're new, learning how to take direction is a thing
Yep.
because you can't necessarily, you don't know the terms or you can't hear what you're doing as being any different. And so, for example, I'm coaching with the marvelous, wonderful, talented Tom Pinto. And what
Mm,
he has to say, there's a lot of subtle tweak, tweak, tweak on your reads. And if you don't have the basics, there's no sense in getting someone that can give you subtle tweaks on your reads. You
that's
really
right.
need the basics. And there's some
That's right.
wonderful coaches that do the basics for you, really good at giving you a foundation. And then there's others that actually don't take beginners. They only take people who have some experience because that's just how they direct best. So
Mm,
the thing
hmm.
is money, right? You pay a lot of money. So you want to figure out what is the best match for you, what you need, create your own education. And the way that you do that is listen to people like us, and we will give you some resources below.
For sure.
And ask other VO people and friends if you have VO friends, or on Facebook. The amount of Facebook groups for VO is extraordinary. But Google, because there's a lot of there's a lot of VO sites, VO
I don't know if I would
talent
Google.
coaches.
I don't know if
Yes,
I would Google it. I
yes,
mean,
I'm
yes, you're
telling
going
you
to
what.
have,
Well, I'll tell you
you
what.
need it vetted. You need vetted coaches because you can get swindled
This
so
is what I
easily.
mean. This is what
Everyone's a
you didn't
coach.
let me finish.
Okay.
You're not looking for a coach on you're not looking for a coach when you're Googling. You're looking for resource pages. I have one on my website, but so does uh Vocation,
Hmm.
so does VO Collective, and I'll
Are
give
they
some links
vetted? Are they
below.
vetted coaches?
Well, Vocation and VO Collective would not give coaches that aren't amazing. But
Great.
what I'm trying to say, and you're not letting me continue,
That's why I'm on the show, by the way,
is
folks.
that below the video, we'll have resources, but we'll have resource list of resource pages. So you can look at a variety of
That's right.
coaches, right? And then you can look
Right.
at
Of
a
course.
bunch, not just one. You want to not look for a coach necessarily online. You want to look for resources with lists of coaches and
Okay.
then ask people. You
All right.
understand?
I
Yeah.
do understand, but let me just ask you a personal question and I will share mine
Anytime.
as well. So, my personal question is, how did you find your coach and how did you know that coach was right for you?
There's so many ways to find coaches. Actually, one of the ways that I love, I forget, I'm going to leave it below. Remember, we did that wonderful session with Andy Roth, Kim?
Yes.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
awesome. He's like a coach for NYU voice talent, I believe, if you want to take voiceover at NYU. Anyway, he
Yeah.
has a 2-week webinar. He doesn't pay us to say this.
No, he doesn't.
And
He'll love it though.
he gives amazing foundational things in 2 weeks. Um, what was the question?
It was, how did you find your coach?
Oh, reading, listening to other people online about what they're saying and how, people talk about good coaches and
Yep.
bad coaches amongst themselves. So, to be honest, here's the secret. Here's my big secret. I didn't start paying for a private or group coach until 10 years into my career. So part of it was because I have a degree in broadcasting. So I took
Oh,
a little class, personal presentation, um, um, in my radio and television arts degree program. But I was also a singer. So I knew how to perform. So, um,
support your breath, all those important things.
right, and then I
Sure.
worked at a radio station, so that helped to,
Sure.
take in all the goodness. So,
Sure.
after 10 years, I realized, you need to go well, plus 10 those 10 years, you'd have to go in person. I couldn't go on Zoom or Skype
Right.
to get coaching, and then after that, I moved to California and was able to and then I still coached on Zoom because that was then accessible. But I am constantly coaching and doing short little seminars and workshops and then privates and all kinds of things because you receive
Yep.
something new and different from every coach.
Completely. I totally agree with that. And that's exactly what I do. I found my coach by finding my favorite nationally represented voice actresses. And I went into their profiles on each of their agents' page if their agents allowed you to do that, or I would look them up. And I saw who they coached with. And I went and I found who had the most common coaches.
Great idea.
And that's how I picked mine, because I knew they got to where they are somehow. And
Right.
that's how I found my coaches.
Yeah,
So,
perfect.
yeah, and that's a good tip for a beginner, I think, as well.
Yeah, I have a resource page on my website. So I list voiceover education for beginners and then for the VO Pro, but it's sorely lacking because there's a dozen and they're on the page
Yeah.
for beginners and a dozen for VO Pro, but there's actually far more than that.
Well, let's make a list on our resources page.
We will. We'll put them below.
And they'll be updated.
But I know there's a school in Canada in Vancouver that it's actually a certification. It's the only certified program, and I don't have it listed here. So we'll put that in the resources below.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and leave in the comments below. What else do you want to say, Kim, about?
I think that's it. I think we pretty much nailed it. I just wanted to be sure. Oh, you know what I think is important to comment is sometimes beginners will show up to these agent nights and think, I want to get into voiceover. I need an agent, without doing the coaching or taking lessons from the agent, which isn't, I don't say it's not allowed. I would just strongly caution you. You only have a few moments in your career to be in front of certain agents. And I don't know if I would enter into the arena as a beginner and introduce myself to an agent and say, hey, listen to me now. Maybe take some coaching and get to a level where your next step then is to meet with agents. And
well, here's a good roundup.
them.
Here's a good roundup question for the end. Maybe rhetorical. How do you know when you're ready for an agent? Ask your coach. Coach will tell you when you're ready for an agent, right? No matter who the coach is, they will tell you if you're ready for an agent, right?
Yeah, if they're good, yeah, hopefully.
Right. So,
yeah.
Thank you for listening today.
Thanks. This was a good one.
Yeah, comment below. Click to subscribe. You can email us, but
we might not answer, but we will read it.
And what else, Kim?
And let's just remember to fuck it. Let's be awesome now, because you've got shit to do.
See you next time.
Bye.